What's good, y'all? It's me again, and I'm here to rate my week for this week. So I feel like this week was still, solid. Well, I'm gonna say it's a 9.7. I'm still getting through classes and everything. There's, the typical trials and tribulations of just, getting through the weeks. But I feel like it's going still pretty smooth. But we just concluded our one of one homecoming week. One of one meaning that we're celebrating Howard's 101st anniversary of celebrating homecoming. And I had a really good time. There was a lot of events that were happening. I didn't get to all of them, but I got to a good bit, and I had a good time overall. But piece of advice I have for y'all today is to prioritize your peace. And what I mean by that is, in life, some people will try to, I don't know, ask you to do certain things, or treat you a certain way, and you don't really know them or aren't super close with them, and that can just throw you off completely. But prioritizing your peace in that way, you can cut those people out of your life, and make room to let new people in that'll hopefully invigorate you in all the best ways, and just be there for your good. But just take that time and prioritize your peace. Don't settle for just taking the punishment as far as like how a person may treat you. Just cut them off. I know it may be hard, and it usually is, to cut someone off like that, or it wouldn't be super hard depending on who you are. But just cut the person out of your life. It's obvious that they're not, conducive to you in any way, or can help you improve in any way, just from that experience or experiences you had with them. So it'd be best to just cut them out of your life and prioritize your peace above just about everything. But with that being said, I hope you'll have an amazing night, afternoon, or morning, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Here we go. Come on.
When K-Dot says
listen, my life is a plot twisted from directions I cannot see. Y'all didn't get that because Shakespeare is writing from the top down, a part of a British Empire that was engaged in crippling colonialism of countries of color. And so it's easy to speak of your agency and say that all the world's a stage and one person in his own time plays many parts while having different entrances and exits. But when you are Kendrick Lamar from Compton, California, you basically say, my life is a plot, meaning there is someone else that is creating systems and structures that produce outcomes. Please hang out with me right now, because racism is not simply somebody being mean to you and calling you the N-word. White supremacy is not simply someone calling you the N-word. No, baby baba, it's a system, a structure that is designed to produce outcomes. I'm tripping because I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina at the airport, and I'm going from one destination, from that layover to it. I'm going from where I came from through Charlotte to my destination, and I'm getting my shoes shined. They got some bad shoe shining brothers there in the Charlotte airport. My shoes are getting shined. A brother walks by me. I can see him side-eyeing me, but he doesn't know I see him. So I act like I don't see him, but I know he's looking at me. And then he walks back, still looking at me out of the corner of his eye. And finally, he says, I know you, don't I? I said, I'm not sure. He said, are you a preacher? I said, yes. Do you preach at Howard University for homecoming? I said, yes. I said, what's your name? And then he invited himself to get his shoe shine next to me, in the seat next to me. He said, I've been wanting to meet you. My name is Jawan. I said, are you a Howard alum? He said, no, I'm not a Howard alum. I go to North Carolina A&T. I said, oh, so how do you know I preach at Howard for homecoming? He said, well, because I've attended Howard's homecomings. I said, so A&T ain't got a homecoming like Howard? Is that what you're saying? Because you know I had to go there. He said, no, but I will admit that I've attended homecoming at Howard to hit on the hotties. I've attended homecoming at Howard because the beautiful baddies they have at HU. And so I said, I see what's up. I see what's up. He said, but I need to let you know that God used you and blessed me through you in a sermon that you preached. I said, really? At homecoming at Howard? Is that what happened? I had to keep rubbing that in. And then y'all check out what Jawan said. He gave me his testimony. It was so profound and moving. I had to download it on my mental computer. And now I'm going to sermonically print y'all a copy. Here is what Jawan said to me that I now give to you. Jawan said, Dr. Haynes, check this out. I was at Howard University, but it was a miracle I was there. I got to Howard in spite of the fact that the internship where I was working as a student at North Carolina A&T, a paid internship that was paying for my education, but the supervisor of the internship was a hater of A&T. He had a neck problem. It was red, and as a consequence, he did not want the internship program to succeed. And do you know he had the nerve to conveniently forget to submit a budget for the internship program? And that's when he came to me and said, I'm sorry, we don't have any money, and so we're going to have to let you go. I'm jacked because I'm planning on attending Howard's homecoming with my frat brothers, and my frat brothers, watch this, they find out that I don't have any money. I then called my mama, and my mama said, son, you ought to still go. And he said, mama, but I don't have the money. Well, I'm going to pray you get the money. And then she hung up. She said, at that moment, I'm feeling empty because my supervisor has conveniently conveniently forgotten to submit a budget. I have no money to go to Howard's homecoming, and now my mama gives me a prayer without some paper. Prayer without paper is like faith without works, which is dead. And so I'm feeling empty, but more than that, I'm feeling powerless. Brothers then called him, and his friend said, "You can ride with us." And they came up to Howard. He's seated in chapel. Watch this. And while seated in chapel, he sits next to a brother, and the brother drops his wallet, and he reaches down to pick it up and give it to him. The older gentleman says, "Thank you. What's your name?" "My name is Jawan." He said, "Are you a graduate here?" He said, "No, I'm visiting." He said, "Well, welcome to Howard University. I did my undergrad work here." And that's when he said, "Thank you." After service is over, and Jawan said, "And Pastor, you preached a word that had my name on it. That's why I had to speak to you. But after service is over, I'm walking with my friend, and the same brother I sat next to, he tripped and fell off of the curb. I rushed to grab him and kept him from going all the way down." He said, "I keep running into you. Maybe there's a reason I keep running into you. Now tell me, why are you here?" He said, "I came up here to meet some honeys at Howard, but I had to go to worship today because Mama prayed me into a blessing." He said, "Well, what do you do?" "Well, I used to have an internship out of North Carolina A&T. And the older gentleman said, "Well, you went to A&T. I did my graduate work at A&T. And now I'm on the board at A&T. He said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Well, where is your internship?" He said, "Well, it's this company." And this company had a supervisor with a neck problem that was so bad he forgot to submit the budget for the internship. He said, "Ain't that something? I just bought that company Friday. And so I'm going to bring you to the meeting this coming Wednesday. And when you walk in, I want you to point out the supervisor who forgot to submit the budget. And if you want to keep him, you can. If you don't want to keep him, don't worry about it. Because God prepares a table before you in the presence of folk that can't stand you." I'm done. But now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly